Alrighty, so we have Ryan Benoit versus Zarruch Adashev. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah. Alright, so for Adashev, he hasn't been fighting too long. He's only got 6 fights. All his wins are against very poor competition, very green competition. But yeah, as he's joined the UFC, he's had a pretty tough schedule. So he's had Tyson Nam and Sue Madaji. So both quite big, long strikers for flyweight, and this is a bit of a different look for him. Benoit still has the reach advantage on him, a 3.5 inch reach advantage, but yeah, Benoit is around the same height and about same type of body type as Adashev. Benoit hasn't had the greatest run in the UFC. He has gone 3-5 in the organization. The 3 wins that he's had, 2 of them are by a KO, so he does have power for a flyweight. So we'll break down the striking of these two, where I believe it's mostly going to be contested. Adashev, he is a southpaw, comes from that kickboxing background, utilizes a lot of feints. I'd probably compare him to like a Daniel Tamer, likes to move around a lot on the outside, kick a lot on the outside. Yeah, probably say if I had to compare him to anybody in the UFC, it'd be Daniel Tamer. I'm talking about the 155 Tamer brother, not the smaller one. And for Ryan Benoit, he is able to fight in either stance. He's probably best in orthodox, but he doesn't mind switching it up. He's always throwing combinations, and yeah, as I said before, he does have a bit of power for the flyweight division. Alright, so for Benoit, he's always looking to time counters as the opponent's coming in. As he's generally fighting off the back foot, he's looking to time counters as his opponent is closer distance looking for their own combinations. When he does look for his counters, he will generally put combinations together. Talk about 1-2, 3-4, 4-3. He's always throwing combinations, as I said before. At distance, he likes to time the body kick, the high kick, when the opponent's in opposite stance to him. But yeah, as I said, he's a kind of a counter striker, so he can be a little low volume on the feet, which has got him in really close fights before, which he has been on the short end of. And for Adashev, he looks to close distance, nullify that reach advantage that he's usually giving up, looks to get in the pocket, land a 3-2 or a 2-3. He level changes pretty much every time he's looking to close the distance, so it's kind of a tell when he does want to close the distance. He'll look to level change and then load up on that left hook, and you can kind of tell when the left hook's coming, so it allows opponents to counter him quite effectively. And he will keep his hands low when he is entering range, and after he does throw that left hook, his lead hand will drop. So whenever he throws the 3-2, on his extension of the 2, his lead hand is generally quite low. So I think that's something Benoit will be looking for. He's going to be looking to land that counter 2 in orthodox, and he's going to be looking for the right hook in southpaw, in my opinion. That's what Benoit's going to be looking for. Benoit doesn't really check leg kicks, so Adashev comes from that kickboxing background. I can see him using some inside leg kicks, outside leg kicks against Benoit. Alright, so in the grappling, for Adashev, well, Benoit doesn't really look to offensively grapple too much. For Adashev, he looks to frame off and reverse takedowns when opponents do shoot on him. He looks for like judo throws in the clinch, looks to look for judo throws in the clinch whenever opponents do have the body lock or the clinch against him. He will go for silly submissions when defending takedowns and end up in inferior position, like he'll go for like a Kimura trap when he doesn't really have it in, or against an opponent who's obviously much bigger and has the wrestling advantage. So yeah, he can get in trouble doing that kind of stuff. For Benoit, if he does get put on his back, he will roll for leg locks to create a scramble. I think he trains with Gary Tonin, so he's probably got decent leg locks himself and pretty good at defending them, but yeah, he will use that as to get off bottom, just to create a scramble. Alright, so how these guys win fights. So for Benoit, he has a fair amount of power for flyweight division. Said that a couple times already. And for Adashev, he seems to have decent stand-up, but I just haven't seen what he can do that will be a real difference maker in the UFC, because all his wins are against such poor competition, and in the UFC he's hasn't won many minutes or many exchanges in the UFC. I get that he's faced tough competition, it's tough schedule, but yeah, he just hasn't shown me how he's gonna win fights in the UFC. Alright, so how these guys lose fights. So for Benoit, he can be a bit passive and quite low volume at times. You know, his counter strike, he's always looking for that perfect punch, as Dominic Cruz would say. I'm not sold on Benoit's chin either. He seems to get rocked quite a bit. He got rocked by Alatung Hae Lee and Ashkan Mukhtarian, or however you say his name. You know, poor striking defense in general. I can see him getting caught here, absolutely, and I'm not sold on his chin. For Adashev, I think his chin's even more suspect. You know, he has better striking defense than Benoit, but I think his chin is a little bit weathered. I don't think it's, you know, when he does get hit clean, he seems to feel it, seems to get put down, put out. Yeah, I don't think his chin's all that. So path to victory for these two. For Adashev, look to keep on the outside, kicks to the body, kicks to the head at distance. Just touch him with the leg kicks. If he's not checking him, go ham on the leg kicks. Just don't get too predictable with your kicking game, because he will always be looking for that counter, and he does have power. For Ryan Benoit, look to use that uppercut as he's closing distance. Look to mix in the body kicks when you're an orthodox and he's a southpaw, and look to mix in your wrestling as well. Look to maybe get him off his on his back. So yeah, should be a fun fight here. Adashev, he's going to get the fight he wants, you know, a kickboxing match pretty much. Both don't have the best strike and defense, so I wouldn't be surprised at a finish by either party. I think it'll be pretty back and forth. I see Benoit landing the harder shots and his chin holding up a little bit better than Adashev's, but I feel like it should be pretty competitive on the feet, and I don't think it hits the mat. Maybe a little bit of clinching, but mostly a stand-up fight. I could definitely see Benoit getting a finish, more than I can see Adashev getting a finish. I could just see Adashev getting a little predictable on the feet, and, you know, Benoit just countering him later on in the fight, and maybe even putting him out. But I do think, yeah, Benoit will be landing the better shots. Alright, let's have a look at the betting lines. So the prediction is Ryan Benoit, and I think he gets it done by decision, but I can absolutely see a knockout. I think this fight is quite close though. I'd probably go 55 to 50% in favour of Benoit. And, you know, if you like props, then maybe Benoit inside the distance, if that's like around $6 or plus 500. Yeah, just saying that because I have no faith in Adashev's chin. You know, probably go small on it. So yeah, with Adashev, you know, he's getting the fight he wants here, and I think he'll do much better than he has in the past, in his past UFC performances. So I do like him at around $2.30, plus $2.30, or plus 130 for the American viewers. So yeah, I do think this fight is going to be fairly close, very competitive, and I just slightly lean Benoit, but I can absolutely see Benoit knocking him out. I could see Adashev knocking him out as well, but I have much more faith in Benoit's chin than Adashev's. So yeah, I think it's going to be a competitive fight. Should be a good one to watch as well.